On that subject, one of the most popular social media platforms for young people is taking another step toward protecting children and teenagers.
Instagram is introducing a new tool that notifies parents if their child is searching for a certain type of dangerous content. Jamie Tucker explains in today's What the Tech.
Yeah, it's easy to criticize social media, but we have to give some props to Instagram. It is the most aggressive social media platform at building protections for teenagers and preteens. And now it's adding something new.
If a child searches for content related to suicide or self-harm, parents can receive a notification. The child's account must be connected to a parent through Instagram's supervision tools or part of the teen account settings introduced in 2024. If that supervision is turned on and the teen searches for certain content, parents will get an alert by text, email, or WhatsApp. It does not show the exact word search, but simply notifies them that their child looked for that content. Instagram already redirects anyone searching for those keywords to resources, including mental health information and a crisis lifeline. The new feature, though, adds another layer, giving parents an early signal that their child might be struggling. The setting is not automatic. To activate it, parents and teens must first link their accounts inside Instagram's Family Center.
Be clear, these social media platforms cannot stop kids from creating second accounts or lying about their ages, but it is another step in the right direction as other social media platforms are feeling the pressure to do more to protect our kids.
For What the Tech, I'm Jamie Tucker, News 10.
Instagram is rolling out those new features now. If you don't see it, make sure you have the most recent update. Time to back.